All right, we're taking a look at writing linear equations. Now, it's really important, don't look in the book when you're looking at this little introduction to writing linear equations, because the image that they have of the MP3 player, the information they have in there is wrong. So make sure you don't look at the book for this introduction right here. So, Olivia purchased a music subscription for downloading music from the internet. The initial fee was $10. She then paid a cost of $1 per song. Well, good for Olivia for actually paying for her music. But what it wants us to do is to graph the ordered pairs, which X is equal to the number of songs and Y is equal to the total cost, and then draw a line through the points. So we've got our information over on the iPod on the right, and we've got our total cost, which is Y, and our number of songs, which is X. So we end up with ordered pairs of 0, 10, 1, 11, and 2, 12. So what does it look like when we graph that? Well, we've got our 0, 10, so we go over 0 and go straight up vertically to 10, and that's our first point. Then when we go over 1 and up 1, we have our 1, 11, and then for 2, 12, we go over 1 and up 1 once again. So we can see that over in the graph on the right-hand side. So now, find the slope and the y-intercept of the line. And what do these values represent? So we had 0, 10, 1, 11, and 2, 12. Well, first let's find the slope. The slope, remember, is equal to our first coordinate of y, or our second coordinate of y minus our first coordinate of y, and then over our second coordinate of x and minus our first coordinate of x. So let's take the points 1, 11, and 2, 12 and plug that in. So if we have 12 minus 11 and 2 minus 1, we're going to end up with 1 over 1. So our slope is 1. And that kind of makes sense, because for every time we had purchased a song, we went over 1 and up 1 when we did that graph. So our slope, or m, is equal to 1. Now, let's take a look at our y-intercept. Remember, the y-intercept is where does our line that we create cross the origin of y, or what is when it's 0, or y, when x is 0, what is y? So, when x was 0, our y was 10, so therefore the y-intercept is 10. Alright, so let's take a look. If our formula for writing a intercept equation, our slope-intercept equation, is y equals mx plus b, let's take a look at what we currently know about all this information in this problem. We know that the y-intercept, or b, is equal to 10. We know that the slope, or m, is equal to 1. We know that y is equal to the total cost, and that x is equal to the number of songs. So let's plug this information into our slope-intercept format here for an equation and see what that looks like. Well, it would be y equals x plus 10. Now, we know that the y-intercept, or b, is equal to 10. But what happened to m? Well, since our slope is 1, we don't need to multiply things by 1, so we don't have to put the m in our equation. So our equation becomes y equals x plus 10. So it kind of begs the question, what would happen if Olivia bought 5 songs? What would the result be? So let's take a look at that. If y is equal to x plus 10 and Olivia bought 5 songs, 5 is equal to x. So we're going to replace that x with a 5, so we have y equals 5 plus 10. So therefore, our y is equal to 15, and our coordinates become 5, 15. Well, let's take a look. We know that we're right if when we graph this, it just continues on our line. And when we do that, if we go to the right 5 and then up 15, it gets placed right within the line that we created with the other coordinates. So we know we're correct.